Hey, everybody. I hope you were able to catch the sermon. What we did as a church is we're looking at the idea of high fidelity. More specifically, what should you and I be super faithful to? Are there truths and beliefs in life that above all others, we lock in on that and stay faithful to that? And we started off with talking about that we believe in God the Father Almighty, the creator of heaven and earth. And we believe in God. Central seems kind of obvious, but maybe not so, that there is one God, the God, and we worship that God. So it got me thinking, I didn't mention this in the sermon at all, but so my daughter really wants some new Air Force Ones. If you don't know what that is, that's not a plane. That is a pair of shoes. But what she wants is like the plain white Nike Air Force shoes that she can customize. She is an artist and loves to do that. And so on her list, our kids always have a working gift list with us. And she really wants that so that she can take the white ones and turn them into an absolute amazing, her own pair of shoes that are customized like no one else. Got me thinking, because I think you and I call it a temptation. You and I have a tendency to try to do the exact same thing with God. When you and I say, yeah, I worship God, I believe in a spiritual being, I believe in someone who made this. And the problem is then we deviate from that and we begin to make up our own version of God. This is not a new thing. Let me read something to you that was decreed by God himself. Exodus chapter 20. Then the Lord said to Moses, tell the Israelites this. Big deal here. You have seen for yourselves that I have spoken to you from heaven. Do not make any gods to be alongside me. Do not make any gods to be alongside me. Do not make for yourselves gods of silver or gods of gold. Here's the issue they have is they're cool with God, but then they would make up their own version of God that meshed a bit more with what they were feeling, their emotions, just what they wanted. Like I want to see this kind of God. I want to be him to be a bit more visual. So they would construct up here, but then oftentimes physically make their own version of God. So I want to bring this up. I think this is worth you hearing this here. Are you ever in danger of it? Because I think we get here where you question the existence of God when you're actually questioning the existence of the God that you've made up. For example, when you see that God allows something that you don't think God should allow, or when you see that God doesn't intervene, doesn't fix, doesn't step in, doesn't change something that you think should be. Or what about some of the rules, call them rules or laws that God said, here is a fact of life. When that doesn't mesh with your worldview, when you don't like something that the God of the Bible has said, have you gotten into a bit of a stream where then you begin to form your own customized version of God? If you're wondering well, David, I don't know if I've done that. I don't know if the God that I worship is the actual one true God. What do I do? Well, I wanted to give you some tips. I wrote down some things that I think you ought to consider putting into your life. One, become a student of the Bible. Literally start reading the Bible. Stop coming up with opinions about the Bible and just start reading it. Whether you believe it or not, just start reading it. Another one, if you're like, well, I don't understand what I'm reading. Cool. I have that struggle sometimes too. So that's why I'm a part of a group and you should be a part of a group. And we offer groups so you can process what you have read with other people. One of my favorites nowadays is YouTube. YouTube has gold, stuff that's that helps me so much. If you've never heard of the Bible Project, you ought to look into it. All you got to do is search in the search area, the Bible Project, YouTube, and I'm sure they might even have other platforms they've got it on, but they do an amazing job in a succinct way of explaining God and the Bible. So there's some homework for you. Take it. Please utilize it. but let's make sure that we are not worshiping a God that we've actually made up on our own. Thanks for listening.